Please welcome our MC for the evening, Mr. Rip City himself, Bill Shotley.
"40 years ago, they captured the hearts of Portland and the Pacific Northwest. They shocked the NBA. Blazermania in Rip City was born, and I now am proud to reintroduce to you the 1977 champion Portland Trailblazers, right here. First, we want to mention some friends who weren't able to join us tonight. The architect of that great team and the director of player personnel, Mr. Stu Inman. Our trainer back in 1977 who took care of all of us, Ron Culp. And our assistant coach, Jack McKinney, who wanted to be here very, very much. I'm going to tell all of you, I spoke to his wife Claire the other day, and he wanted to be here but could not. And without him, there would be no NBA team in Portland not feeling well and unable to be here tonight. We all have a blessing because he started all of this, Mr. Harry Glickman. And now, would you please welcome the president of the 1977 NBA champions, one of the great guys on the face of this earth, Mr. Larry Weinberg. Larry, right down there. And if you remember, when he was here as many times as he could, he always had that red jacket on. Thank you, Larry. Known for his plaid blazers, his coaching techniques and philosophy were equally the cutting edge, being represented by his daughters tonight, Carolyn and Shannon, the great Dr. Jack Ramsey. By the end of the season, he was probably the best power forward in the league, and many credited him as being the difference maker in that great championship series, being represented by his wife, Pam, the enforcer, number 20, Maurice Lucas. A rookie in the 77, the 5th pick of the draft. My turn now. A rookie in 77, the 5th pick in the draft that year. And he, along with the rest of the reserves, never missed a beat when he was placed out on the floor. If you remember, his nickname was the Who, Wally Walker. Stand up, Wally. They're coming up. The Rubber Band Man, backing up Bill Walton, was no easy task when given the opportunity, if you remember. He often saved the day, number 34, Robin Jones. He scored 20 points in the second half alone to rescue the team from defeat in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals against the Los Angeles Lakers. Catapulting them on to win the championship down the line. He's being represented tonight by his sons, Jay and Ricky, number 3, Herman Gilliam. A coach's dream and an ultimate team player, as most of these, in fact, all of these guys were the team players, and doing whatever the coach asked of him, and oftentimes was shutting down the opposition star. We love him very much. Number 10, Corky Calhoun. This speedster changed the game in those days with his quickness and defensive pressure. He was also usually the recipient of Mr. Walton's long outlet passes and grabbed that rebound at the end of that series. Remember that? Along with Bill. Number 16, Johnny Davis. They called him Bottom, but he sure could fill it up from the top of the key, and inside, he was a monster. He comes to many of our games to this day. Number 36, Lloyd Neal. His quick hands and defensive savvy enabled him to lead the league in steals that year, but he sure could score it just as well. He was all over that floor. Number 15, Larry Steele. His nickname was Pinball, if you remember, which was well-deserved. When watching him twisting his way and driving to the hoop, lickety-brindle up the middle if you were, and when he bounced off the defenders but scored in the process. Number 13, David Twardzik. I'm only reading this because I can't believe it, but one of the quietest guys ever to wear a Trailblazer jersey. I thought he talked a lot. He let his game do the talking, and boy, did he talk in the playoffs. Number 14, the Train, Lionel Hollins. In 1977, he was dominating, averaging 19 points a game, leading the league in rebounds and blocked shots. But it was his team was first, and that defined that group. And now that he can talk, we can't keep him quiet. Bill Walton. Another gentleman along with Bill who went on and very important in that final series. He comes to the games quite often, and without him, it might not have been a championship year. Mr. Bobby Gross. And now, if you will, we have so many guys that have great stories to tell. We've had a wonderful time this past couple of days with all of us, but we have a second half of a game to play tonight. So to speak, On behalf of the team, Lionel Hollins. Lionel?
Thank you, Sean Lee. First of all, I want to thank the Blazer organization for inviting us back and allowing us to have this opportunity to share a great moment in our life. I want to thank Paul Allen, the owner, Chris McGowan, the president and CEO, and Neil O'Shea, the general manager. It's been a special 2 or 3 days that we've been here, being able to reminisce and tell big fish stories about what happened. As you know, as we've gotten older, the games were better. We never made any mistakes. We scored more points than we thought we scored. But we did win the championship, and it's a great honor to have been the youngest team in NBA history to win an NBA championship. And we're glad that we could share with you, the fans, the greatest fans in the NBA, Rip City.
Thank you, Train. It was a team effort that won the championship back in 1877, and don't you forget it. So let's get the team together, all together, maybe one more time for another team photo. Thank you very much.